Whether you're trying to fill out just a couple extra dates you have available or mini sessions are your bread and butter, nobody's going to take you seriously if your booking information is complicated and looks like shit. That's why I'm going to share with you today what I believe to be one of the most simple and easiest ways for both booking and scheduling a mini session for you and your clients. What's up? My name is Jay LeBlanc, wedding photographer and photo video educator. Now, if you've ever shot a mini session before, you know that there's a lot of scheduling that goes into it because you're dealing with so many people in a very short time span. It's not like you're just going to a wedding dealing with one client and you have one contract and you know who you're dealing with. In a mini session, you might be dealing with 10 different families in a matter of just a few hours. So, what is a nice, easy way of keeping all of this organized? I recently did a mini session and I've used other booking platforms before, but I wanted to find something that was easy for both me and the clients to just sign up and get everything in one place. Full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Pixieset. Pixieset does not know I am making this video. This is just me finding a product that I really enjoyed using and wanting to share it with you. As an educator, I love to show my students both products that are easy to use and affordable. And I think Pixieset has just that with their studio manager and their ability to both schedule and book mini sessions. Before we go any further, check out my new shirt. That smile looks good on you. Yeah, this is my shirt. I made it. And I just love being happy and smiling and spreading positivity. And as soon as somebody reads this shirt, they smile instantly. And I think it's just a fun way of making everybody around you happy. Let me know down in the comments if you would have any interest in purchasing one of these shirts. Maybe I'll sell them one day, unless you're my mom. My mom, don't comment on this. You'll get one for free. Don't worry. I'll hook you up. And if you have any interest in using this for yourself, I'll let you know. I'll leave a link down below where I'm going to leave a referral code. It'll give you and me both a little bit of money towards Pixieset. That's the only thing that I'm getting out of this video other than me sharing my excitement for what I believe to be a great product. So don't forget, check out that link down below if you have any interest in signing up for yourself. So what I'm going to show you today is how to set up a mini session in Pixieset and what that whole process is going to look like for your clients on the back end. This is a super easy process. I promise this is so simple that in less than an hour, you will go from not even having an account with Pixieset to having a website that your clients can go to, book their mini session, sign a contract, fill out a questionnaire, and pay you all in one spot. It makes life so much easier. Let's jump into Pixieset and check this out. All right, now I'm already logged into Pixieset, but if you don't already have an account, it would just say login where it says open dashboard for me, and you can make an account super easy. You can even link it to your Gmail account. Getting started with Pixieset is super convenient. So here we are inside our dashboard. What we're focusing on today is going to be our studio manager. So I'm going to click into that. And the first thing we're going to do is go on the left side underneath tools. We're going to check out bookings. Wow, I guess I should check my notifications, huh? And under bookings, we're going to go to the top right corner and check out new session type. And look at this, mini session. And I'm going to name ours YouTube because I am making this mini session for you on YouTube. We're going to click on mini session and click next. Setting this up could not be any easier. We have our session type. Let's put a background image. It shows you on the right hand side what a preview of the booking portal is going to look like. By default, they have this nice little beach scene. I like to put a picture of a family because that's what you shoot most of the time at mini sessions. Next, we have session link. So it shows you what the web address would be. You can customize it. I'm just going to leave it by default, what Pixieset makes for us. Next, we can go to who can book this section. Public. Do we want to leave it open to the public or do we want to make this a private event? Maybe we only have very specific people we want to offer this to, so we can set this as private. If we leave it on public, anybody could access this. Next thing we have is location. So for the mini sessions, we can also use the same booking method to also book a phone call, a Zoom meeting, or a Google Meet meeting. This is if you want to set up some sort of calendar, if you want to allow your clients to book a meeting with you. But in our case, we're going to be booking a photo shoot. So we need an actual location. So we're going to keep it on location, and our location is going to be the North Pole. Description. So this is where you would write a brief little description of what your mini session would be. Mine are 15-minute, and you get an online gallery for proofing. Cool. Next is going to be session color. Session color, what this refers to is what color your session gets highlighted in your calendar. In Pixieset, you have a calendar that shows you all your different types of sessions. I'm just going to leave mine on the default blue for now, but you can change yours and color code it however you want depending on the type of session you're doing. And then create new project. We're going to turn that on. Pixieset refers to each one of these shoots as a project. And then we're going to change our project stage from inquiry to booked, because in this mini session, what I'm doing here, I'm letting the clients pick their time, their date, sign a contract, fill out a questionnaire, and leave a deposit. That sounds like we have a booked client, right? So let's leave the project stage on booked. And the project type, this is really how it's going to be filtered within your dashboard. A mini session is a portrait session in my eyes, so I'm leaving it on that default setting. Next, we're going to availability. This is where we're going to put in our times and dates. For me personally, I do 15-minute mini sessions, and now we're going to add a couple dates in here. Let's pick a random day in October. Cool, and we're going to do 9 spots, not 39. We're going to do 9 spots starting at 9 a.m. with a 5-minute gap. Now where we have the gap, I really like this feature because sometimes a mini session will run a little bit over, or your next family might be a little bit late. This gives you a little bit of time in between families to transition. It'll give you that flexibility if somebody's running a little bit late, or maybe you want to just review your notes for your next family where you can look at their names and how many people are coming, or maybe you just got to run over to the bathroom. That 5-minute gap comes in handy. So I like to do that 5-minute gap between my sessions. So we have, starting at 9 a.m., we have 9 spots, 15 minutes long each with a 5-minute gap. And you see they automatically generate all of our time slots. I'm going to click save. But we know what? We're going to add in a second date to our fall mini sessions that we're doing here. I'm going to also do it October 25th. On October 25th, though, we're going to do something a little bit tricky here. We're going to do 15 spots. But I'm not going to shoot from 9 a.m. till 1:55 p.m. We're going to add a break in the middle. We're going to have a break, let's take a break around 11, and we're going to take a 3.5-hour break. We're going to add that in. So now you can see we have our 15 spots, but we have from 9 a.m. all the way till 11:15. And then at 11:15 to 2:45, we have a break. And then we're shooting again from 2:45 to 5:20, and I'm going to save that. That's if we want to do sessions all day long and have that break in the middle. Next, we're going to go to our intake form. Now, our intake form, what information do we want to collect from our clients when they're booking with us? First name, last name, email. I want to collect a phone number and an address. Company name, don't really need that because we're not dealing with companies, we're dealing with families here. And then we're going to add a questionnaire. But Jay, I don't have a questionnaire. I'm just starting out mini sessions. Well, lucky for you, Pixieset has a template. Right underneath it, no questionnaire, it says select template to add a questionnaire to be filled during booking. Let's click on templates. Ooh, we're going to come up to the top right corner. We're going to click on questionnaire and let's check out family sessions. Now Pixieset has automatically given us a very nice family session questionnaire here that you can go through and modify as you would like. For example, since we are dealing with a mini session where we are picking the date, this very first question is relevant to us. I am going to delete this one. Next, we want to know maybe who's coming to the session. We could keep that. Names of participants and their ages. Cool. Next, we have some check boxes to know who's coming to the session. You, spouse, partner, kids, newborn, pets, other. Other. What do you think other is? You think maybe somebody's bringing their goldfish? Their neighbor? Their barista? Their hairdresser? I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Have you ever done a mini session where somebody brought an additional person? That's something other than these 5 checkboxes, where they would need to fill out the checkbox other? I'd be really curious to know some of your stories of who people have brought to these mini sessions. But I'm going to leave that one there. Next, we're going to go to names and participants and the ages of the children. So we get people's names and ages, if there's any kids, so we know what ages we're dealing with. Are we dealing with babies, infants, toddlers, teenagers, all adults? Whatever it is, you have a general idea of what to expect. Maybe you want them to describe their family. Not super important. I'm going to delete that one. Favorite things to do as a family. For mini sessions, I don't care about these that much. On a portrait shoot, maybe, because we're building a little bit more of a relationship over a longer period of time. But in 15 minutes, these details aren't super important. But hey, maybe you want to keep them, go right ahead. You can also add your own questions. I'm just going through what Pixieset's given us already. What are some things your children are interested in? Any pointers on what might get them to laugh or smile? Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely when we're dealing with younger kids. Do you have recommendations on location? We're doing a mini session. I'm picking the location. Don't need that. Ideas for the session. We could get rid of that one. Outfits. We don't really need that either. For this style of shooting, do you prefer? We got 15 minutes. We don't have time to cater to every single person's needs. Ooh, this is a really good one here. Do you have any products in mind for the photos from our session? Gift prints, wall portraits, an album, canvas, digital files. This is a good question because then you know after the shoot who to talk to about potentially upselling a little bit and making some money on the back end. Keep that one in mind. Next, we have an explanation. I'm going to get rid of that. What are your goals for the session? We don't really need that one. Is there anything else I should know? Yeah, we'll leave that one open-ended. And how did you hear about me? I don't care about that one. And then do you have any questions for me, the photographer? That looks like a pretty good questionnaire for me in terms of a mini session. If there's anything else that you would like to add, if you just hover your mouse in between any of these boxes, there's a little plus marker. We click on that, and then we can come over here and where it says long text, click that drop down arrow and choose what type of question we want. And we can make our own custom questions. And we can also make these questions required or not required. For me, all I would leave is required as who's coming and what are their names. That's all I really care about. Other than that, it's not super important. But over here on the left-hand side for the template settings, for it to expire, I don't care about that. I'm going to leave it off. But reminders, I'm going to turn that on because if you are not filling this out, there's a problem. So we're going to make sure we remind them to fill out this information for us. And the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to name our questionnaire. And I'm just going to name it YouTube Family Session Questionnaire and done. And then we're going to come back into our setup. And you might have to refresh this page. Underneath questionnaire, we're going to click our drop down arrow and look at that. YouTube Family Questionnaire. Awesome. And then we go and add in our contract. And guess what? If you don't have a contract, Pixieset has you covered again. We can click select template right here. When we come over to our contract templates in the top right corner, new template and contract. And guess what? Portrait photography contract. How cool is that? Pixieset gives you a little bit of a disclaimer up here at the top telling you, hey, this is not legal advice. Make sure you check with your own lawyer, as you definitely should when it comes to a contract. But it's a pretty good contract. I've read through it already, and it's a good starting spot. Definitely add in what you need. Don't just blindly use a contract without going through every line on your own. Especially if you're not a lawyer, you should probably have one look it over just to cover your butt. But what's really cool when it comes to these contracts, there's these little gray areas with some lines underneath it. And this is information that Pixieset will automatically pull from your questionnaire and that inquiry field that your clients are going to have to fill out when they're booking it. And it'll just fill all this in for you. It makes life super easy. And then all the yellow highlighted areas is information that you're going to have to fill out on your own. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but when you do this on your own, definitely make sure that you go through this because you don't want to send this to a client as is. You want to make sure those yellow highlighted areas are changed to what you are charging for a session, the deliverables, and all that fun type of stuff. And then over here on the left-hand side, my signature required. Yes, I like to always countersign every one of my contracts to really just solidify the contract between myself and the client. And then for this, I'm also going to turn those reminders on again. And then we're just going to rename it real quick to our YouTube Portrait Photography Contract. Click done here. Then we're going back into setting up our mini session. You might have to refresh the page again. And then on no contract, click our down arrow. There's our contract we just made. Awesome. And then for payments, we can turn collect payments on. How much we're going to charge. How much we're going to charge for the mini session. Let's say $200 for the mini session. Do we need to add tax? Check with your local tax code. I don't know wherever you live. You may or may not need to do this. Collect partial payment. When I do a mini session, I'm collecting full payment right up front. It's not like it's a wedding where we're dealing with thousands of dollars here. We're dealing with a much smaller amount, but let's get that full payment right up front and we don't have to worry about it later on. Then we can allow tip. Oh yeah, come on. Everywhere you go nowadays, ask for a tip. Why not do it yourself? Turn it on. If they don't want to tip you, fine. But you know what? Somebody probably will. And that is money that you weren't expecting. Thank you, Pixieset, for adding that feature. And then the very bottom part, we have accepted payment methods. I personally have PayPal, check, and Zelle turned on right now. You can also add credit card payments. You could turn some of these off. Whatever you want, you would just go into your settings and set up whatever payment methods that you want. I'm not going to go through that because that's a little bit more personal to you and your banking. Next, we have confirmation. So we give them a little confirmation message to say, thank you for booking with us. It's been lovely. Can't wait to see you. And then what I personally do is I give them a link to a blog post that I wrote of how to prepare for a mini session. This just helps them get some ideas towards getting ready for their session. Next up, we're going to have session reminders. Oh yeah, you bet I'm turning that on, because I don't want you to tell me the day of or the day before, like, oh my God, I forgot we had a mini session set up with you. Can we reschedule? No, I've been sending you reminders for the last 2 weeks. So per our contract, you cannot do that. And then you can also turn manually approve new sessions. So if you want to give the thumbs up or the thumbs down to somebody who is trying to book a session with you, you can do that. I'm keeping that turned off because I like people. I'm going to book sessions with them, especially if they are giving me money. And then the last section we have here are booking rules. So this is pretty cool. What is your minimum notice you need for booking the mini session? I like to leave mine at a day. If I have an open spot and somebody wants to book it the day before, by all means, let's go. I'm going to be there anyway. Let's fill up my schedule. Next, we have our cancellation policy. I like to know minimum 2 days beforehand. I understand things happen, but I do want to know 2 days beforehand. And rescheduling policy, I'm also going to leave at 2 days as well, just because, listen, it's what I do. If you want to do something different, by all means, go ahead and do it. This is my choice. And then show unavailable spots. I'm leaving that on. This lets everybody know I'm super busy, and also that there's families before them and after them, so do not be late, because you're going to miss out on your shoot. And that's it. Now let's go through what it would look like for a client to actually book one of these sessions with us. We're going to click on publish, and we're going to go check out our YouTube mini session. So I'm going to click view page. And this is what it will look like on the client's end. You can see we have the 22nd and the 25th. They have a little gray box around the date for the days that we're going to be doing our sessions. And then you can see up here, we also have that other information that we provided during the setup process. So you have that it's a 15-minute time limit. It is $200. Our location is the North Pole. If you put an actual address in there, not just North Pole, it will have the full address right there. And this is the little description that we gave, the 15 minutes online gallery for proofing. So on the 25th, let's say we are going to shoot at 9 a.m. My family's up early. Let's take the first spot right in the morning. I'm going to click continue. So let's go through this together and fill this out as if we were actually going to do the session. I'm going to pretend that my dog Buddy is doing a mini session with us. His first name is Buddy. His last name is Woof. His email is buddywoof@gmail.com. My dog does not actually have an email. I don't know whose email this is. If it does belong to somebody, I'm sorry, but this is just an example. Phone number, 111-111-1111. Cool. His address is 123 Main Street. Pick a country. We're in the United States. Our city is New York. State is New York. And I don't know the actual postal code, so it's 0000. Write a message. Our message is going to be woof, because that's what dogs say, right? Then pops up our questionnaire. And if you scroll up, you can see the information that the client has already provided so far. And this is the questionnaire that we made. You can see a little asterisk right next to any questions that are required. So we can put that it's going to be you and other. Ooh, look at this. Other. My dog is going to bring his human. That is me. Names of participants, Buddy and Dad. And then we're just going to skip over all these other ones just for time. You get the idea of it. I'm going to click continue. And next up is our contract. This is the little disclaimer part that you're supposed to erase. I did not do that because this is just an example, but before you use this contract, make sure you erase that because it does not look professional if you were to leave this up here. And then you can see in this agreement, it's all the information that was automatically pulled from earlier in the booking process, which is very nice and convenient for us. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where we can sign, accept and sign, continue. Ooh, would we like to leave a tip? Yes, we would. Of course. Thank you, Buddy, for tipping me. And then we would go to pay it. And that's really it. It's super simple. What did this take us? 20, 30 minutes? If you were watching this video and pausing it along the way and doing this as you go on your own, I think you can get this done in less than an hour. The longest part of this is probably the contract part where you're going to have to make sure everything's legal and checks all the boxes with you and your lawyer. But I think this might be one of the easiest, cleanest, neatest ways to set up a mini session booking portal and allow your clients to book it as pain-free as possible. We want to minimize that barrier to collecting a paycheck. So why not make this process as pain-free and simple as possible for our clients? And also, let's make it easy on us as well. Why do we want to go through all this time coding up a website or building out some big, long, elaborate booking portal? No, this gets all of the essentials out of the way, and it took us no time at all. If you think that you're going to check this out for yourself, let me know down in the comments. Again, I'm going to leave that link below where if you're interested in this, both you and I will get a small amount of money towards our Pixieset accounts, which will help us both out. And if you were to use that code, it'll definitely be highly appreciated. Like I said, I'm not sponsored at all to make this video. Pixieset doesn't even know I make this video. I've been using Pixieset for over 10 years for their online galleries, and now I'm expanding out into their studio manager, and I've been very pleased so far. So if you're going to check this out for yourself, use that link, and until next time, peace.